YouTube, what's going on? There's no one here yet. I've never done a live stream. I don't imagine I'll get too many viewers, but everybody will watch it after the fact, anyways. So, whether no one's watching when I'm doing it live or. Yeah, here we go. Got one, two. I don't know if you guys are subscribers or not. Anthony, what's going on? Never done a live stream. All right, we got three. This is going to be the second assortment of the RAOK box. Got four. Honestly, I wasn't expecting anybody, so I was like, well, to give it a try to go live because, if I film the video like I normally do, nobody's watching there. So either way. All right, so this is going to be mostly Kyosho, the Kyosho stuff that he sent with a few other things. If you guys have questions, yeah, the Bugattis are. The whole box was insane, man. He sent me a box a couple months ago. If you watch that video, it's titled "Mother of All RAOKs," and that box was epic. But he told me the next one would be better, which, I did. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. When you get a box like that one, I mean, that was like epic. But he was not kidding when he said this one would be better. So before we get into the Kyosho, this is a majorette. I don't have as much camera function doing it live. I can't focus like I can without going live. So we'll see how this all works out. But this is a Dacia Duster. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. I have no idea what this is. Yeah, his collection is awesome. A top shelf collector for sure. Um, yeah, this is not something. I don't know where you guys are at, but here in the United States, this is not something that we would see. But it must be a popular car because I checked eBay and they seem to be pretty popular on eBay. All right, so um, I do have the Bugattis that I will take a look at in probably the next video with some other stuff too. This is going to be most of the Kyosho, but not all of it. What's going on, BB Auto Wrecking? Eric Williams, thank you. It's many years in the making. And, my collection seems to be very fluid. There's always stuff coming in and going out. Um, there are guys like Champion DJK or Owen, WTF FOR. Those guys will get stuff into their collection and it's on lockdown. My collection doesn't seem to be that way, although there are certain things that I do get in that are, cars that'll never leave my collection. So, anyways, this is one. See this? I'm a little worried about the camera quality. This is a Aoshima Toyota Carina HT. I have this car in white, but it looks way better in black, no doubt about that. Yeah, the thing about the Aoshima, I guess they're about the same as Kyosho, where it's pretty much a coin flip as to whether or not it'll roll. But the Carina rolls no problem. It actually rolls really nice. The white one that I have rolls really nice as well. The white one that I have has a little bit of a lean to it, though. I think this one might have a little bit of a lean, but doesn't seem as bad. Yeah, the Aoshima 1/64 scale cars that they do are pretty nice. If you're into that style. All right, probably my favorite is this one here. Definitely one of my favorites because this is the closest thing to what I drive. although this is a much newer model. But this was the one piece in the entire box that was a trade. And basically it was just a straight across trade. I had the darker color. And he had the silver. I prefer silver. I bought my Land Cruiser. It's like the charcoal color. I bought that like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, before I had come to the realization that silver is a much better color for a 1:64 scale car. Had I known that at that time, I would have got either this color or the champagne color. Pretty awesome car there, though. Let's see. This is a TAC car. Probably not a brand too many people have heard of. They're known to be really highly detailed and opening hoods. Not really. The only for construction equipment, the only thing I'd really be interested in, and it would only be a moderate level of interest, would be stuff that can be used for layouts. So for me, it's mostly just the cars. Although I will say, for me, the layouts do kind of go hand in hand with the car. This is a TAC car. TAC. TACCAR. They've done, I want to say they've done some Skylines. But it's not a company or it's not a brand that I'm all that familiar with. I've seen the Toy Pimp. He's had a few TAC cars come through his distribution, I guess. I like the Subaru wagon though. Let's see. Yeah, I have quite a few Hot Pursuits. Quite a few. This is a Kyosho Toyota Crown. This is I think it's a Crown Athlete, but I'm not positive. I know it's not the Comfort. I think Kyosho is among the best when it comes to the quality of the replication. As a collector, I'm always going for whatever looks closest to real. So the closer it is to real, the more interest I will have in it. And I have a Toyota Crown from Ray's Diecast. And a lot of the eBay sellers are selling this as a Ray's Kyosho. So I don't know if this is the same tooling or not. I don't think that it is, but it is very close. But I think the big difference is the lines on top. So I think they're different. Both are very nice. I can't say which one is nicer. I tend to say the Rays is nicer, but I think that could just be my color bias. Both cars are awesome. Here's another one of my favorites. I already had a couple of people hit me up on this one. This was one of those cars that will not leave my collection. This is the Kyosho Toyota Altezza. This was commercially available in the United States as the Lexus. I don't remember if it was the IS 250 or the IS 300. This is the IS though, Lexus IS. Awesome car. These older Toyotas are pretty tough to find. I agree. Yep, realistic is that's my main judging factor. Here's a car that I couldn't care less about in real life, but I actually really like this model replica here. Yes, Hot Wheels Hunter, I agree. It was amazing. He is the man. He is beyond generous. I don't even know how I would describe that guy in one word. He's a pretty amazing dude, though. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I do. Um, Not so much. I don't just display them on the layouts, but I like photographing them on the layouts. See, I like that though. I think for me as a collector, I'm so done with Mustangs and Camaros and the stuff that's been produced for 30 years. I want to see more oddball, obscure stuff from the 80s, 90s. That's just me personally, though. I like seeing 1 to 64. Like, for example, when Greenlight or Auto World announces that they're going to be doing a car, and it's a car that hasn't been done in the scale before, I get excited about that, even if it is an older car. There's a Toyota Celica. Also, Kyosho. This is just a nice civilian deco. I think this is from Toyota 1. I have this car from the Mechanical Doctor set, which is not a stock deco, but pretty close. It's not a real busy graphic or anything like that. It just basically has a black rocker panel and it has some aftermarket wheels. But I do prefer the stock look. Yeah, I love Auto World. I just get frustrated with them because they just continue to be the dead horse. Johnny Lightning, not so much. I really don't get excited about Johnny Lightning. I like the Land Cruisers. I like some of the 4x4 stuff. The Blazer. The F 150 casting they have is pretty nice. What else? The International Scouts are okay. They're disproportionate and they're out of scale. And most Johnny Lightning cars have pretty bad stances. Like all the import heat cars, awful stance. All right, here's one you guys will like. This is one of my favorites out of the entire box. Kyosho Carnell, Ken Mary, Nissan Skyline GTR. Yeah, those C10s are it's gonna be a frenzy getting those. I saw, if you guys watch Round 2, their channel on YouTube, they posted the June release. Those are hitting this month. And the first run, there's a fleet side and a step side. The fleet side is for sure going to be the more popular of the two, but their run is like 7,800 or something like that. Yeah, I actually think I might do that actually as well tonight. It's probably a good idea. I think that they're going to flood the market though initially. I think Greenlight's going to do the same thing with the K5 Blazer. This Ken Mary is sick though. This is another one that will not leave. Will not leave my collection. I got another sick Ken Mary from him. This one right here, this is what you would call a unicorn. This is an impossible car to find. And when you find it, you don't even want to know what these are going for on eBay. It's just a killer car. He sent me this in 1/64 and 1/43. I do kind of agree with the quality. I don't think their quality is any worse than anybody else. I think Auto World's quality is probably better. But with Greenlight, the quality issue is relatively recent. It didn't used to be that way. You know, it's only, in my opinion, the last probably 18 months to 2 years when they started getting really aggressive with new licensing. That's when I started to see the quality start to fall. And it's unfortunate because, you know, they used to produce stuff like this, which is, you know, this right here is a Kyosho quality car. The level of detail, the accuracy, I mean, this, if Kyosho were to do this car, I think it would look pretty close to this. The wheels would be more accurately proportioned. See, I would disagree with that, man. And I've been a diehard Greenlight collector for about 5 years. The further back you go with Greenlight, the better the quality seems to be. I don't do model railroading, but I appreciate that hobby, and I've always said ever since I started making these layouts, I can totally see myself being that guy later on in life. I can totally see myself doing that. But if I do it, it'll be done around my diecast collection. So I won't do S scale or HO scale. It'll be S scale, which is really hard to find S scale train stuff. Yeah, that blue one is nice. It's really hard to find. All the civilian models of this are tough to find. The one that's easy is the hitch and tow, and it's, you know, you can probably get it around 18 bucks. This one here is really hard. Really, really hard one to find. I don't remember the last time that one of these Ford dealerships showed up on eBay, but it's been a long time. There have been a couple sellers that were selling these individually. They were asking, I don't know, like 30 or 40 bucks for just the Explorer. But that's one of Greenlight's better castings, in my opinion. Thank you. I appreciate it. I have a blast making them. I know I say it in every video. They're a lot of fun to make. I wish more collectors would try it. Yeah, I don't know that I have either. I don't know that I've ever seen S scale either. But I will say this: here in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, we have a train museum, and as part of that museum, there's a huge building. I won't say huge, but it's a few thousand square feet, probably 5 or 6 thousand square feet, and it's all model trains in different scale. And they, as part of the introduction to the tour, they tell you, you know, you can, these are the different scales that are available, and S scale is one of them. And I've had people comment on my videos saying, you know, you can do S scale, you know, you can buy S scale buildings. I've never seen it. I've searched and I've never seen it. I had a guy get mad at me once for representing my HO scale buildings as S scale. I said it's bad for the hobby, and he went on a little rant. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion. But this is an HO scale house. It doesn't cross very well. Actually, the only reason it really doesn't cross that well is because of the garage door. If it weren't for that, I think it would be fine. But the Woodland Scenics gas station that I have crosses over, no problem. The Walters car dealership that I used to have, that crossed over. The buildings that I made, the scratch made stuff, these are made in S scale or pretty close to it. They're definitely not HO. This house is probably actually larger than S scale. but this building here is S, the garage is S scale, and that building there's S scale. Trying to think up. I'm already I'm already over this layout. I'm ready to move on from it. It's one thing about myself that kind of drives me nuts. So I'm trying to I like the idea of the smaller, mobile, easier to store layouts because you can cram more detail into them. And so I'm trying to think of a small layout idea for these buildings. Once I think something up, I'll start building them. Ford Fairlane 8, thank you. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to get a haul like that. It honestly doesn't even seem real. It's insane. All right, let's see. Here's a little Konami. I think I might have shown this in the last video. Yeah, I agree and that's why I went with it, because it is a little bit off, but it's close enough that I think you can sell the illusion. Thank you. I kind of missed the last part of that, but yeah. The thing about the house is that I don't know if it's injection molded or what, but the molded plastic, it definitely had to be painted. And the further back thing is actually there's actually people that do the model railroads. There's a technique. If you like, for example, this big layout here is 8 square feet. So if I had, say, the house where the house is, if I wanted to have like just land and then maybe like a farm or something out in the distance, there's an optical trick that you can do where on an HO layout you would go to like an N scale barn and you would set up the barn or farm or whatever that's out in the distance as N scale. It's called forced perspective, and it just creates the illusion that that property is just further on down from the house. And there are videos on, if you YouTube HO scale layout forced perception, I think there are some videos on it. I know that Marklin of Sweden did a video on it. It's pretty interesting and it's clever. I'm just not that into it yet. You know, right now I'm just trying to hone my skills on this type of stuff. You know, doing buildings is relatively new for me. The first bunch of layouts that I made were all landscape. And doing streets with sidewalks is brand new. This is only the second one I've ever done. This layout here was the first one. So I just learn as I go. But the street with sidewalk is, you know, that's something that I want to get good at because I think those make the best layouts, most realistic layouts, the suburban or urban environment. Cool little Subaru. What else did we get? I don't remember if I think I did show this in the last video because I think it's the thumbnail. The Kyosho Ferrari 250 Testarossa. I love it in silver. Most Ferraris I would prefer red, but there are some that I think look better in silver. And I noticed in the whole assortment of cars that he sent, he really put an emphasis on my favorite color. You know, here's part of it here. You can see the Prius is silver, the Land Cruiser is silver, Subaru Wagon, the Altezza, the Kenmary, the Testarossa, the Explorer. Also, somebody commented on a video earlier saying that the early Ferrari cars did not have prototypical wheels and had crappy wheels. I know that. That was Ferrari 1 and 2. This car is from, it's not from 1 or 2. I know that. I have to look to see what series it is, but I'm almost certain that this is not from Ferrari 1 or 2. So, what else? I don't know if I have anything else in this video. Here's one more look at the 1 to 43rd scale Kedmary. So both are Kyosho. So the 1 to 43rd scale is the museum collection. The 1 to 64 is the beads collection. And as it turns out, you would think that the 1 to 43rd scale would be more expensive. But that does not seem to be the case on eBay. You can find... You have any Dodge Chargers or Dodge Challengers? Yes, I have tons. Greenlight makes tons of those. I've got a whole bunch of them. But you can find the 1 to 43rd on eBay for $90. And there's one of these, only one of these currently, I think, listed, and it's $145, I think. So it's actually quite a bit more to get the 1 to 64, which is kind of weird because I think on a global scale, this size here, this scale is more popular. I think it's only in the U.S. that that 1 to 64 is the more popular sized scale to collect. Yeah, I will be taking this out and taking a look at it. That looks amazing. Yep. I don't know what the conversion rate is or the exchange rate, but I just got a Leopard from Japan Booster. It's an awesome car. Also, I recommend getting that Nissan B1 from TLV. That's an awesome little car that it's kind of a sleeper, you know. Everybody loves a two-door hatchback. That car has nice curves, nice little round headlights. I got that at the same time I got the Leopard. This little thing is pretty awesome, too. I don't know anything about it, but I want to, yes, I want to. Thank you. I want to make a Japanese-based layout, yes, because I think most of my passion with diecast is with the nostalgic Japanese. So, absolutely, I would love to do that. I know that they make an S scale or 1 to 64 scale initial D model kit for the tofu restaurant. So I've thought about picking one of those up and building it out. I've also thought about trying to scratch build it, but I don't think my skill set is where it would need to be to do that. But yes, I definitely want to do that. I want to incorporate the Japanese infrastructure, because right now, like, even this is just old town America. It's not even what I would call modern. Same thing with this house. Just a little split level. Super easy to put this together, though. If you guys want to, if you're looking for a building for your, just to photograph your cars or whatever, this, I think you can get these on eBay for like $15. They're super cheap. It goes together really easy. It's held together by their tension joints at each corner. It says you don't need glue, but you do. It probably could be based off of something from New England. I know, like, I grew up in Colorado, and I've been here in Arizona for the last 4 years, and you don't see a lot of stone houses in Colorado or Arizona. You see a lot of brick in Colorado, but not stone. But yeah, you like I said, it goes together. There's no cutting or gluing or painting required to put the house together, but you're going to want to do all of those things. I put it together just to get a feel of how it went together, and then I took it apart and painted it, and then when I reassembled it after it was painted, I glued everything. Yeah, I would think like coastal towns that get a lot of moisture would probably have a lot of stone. I don't sell a lot of diecast. Any diecast that I do sell is on Instagram, so you'd have to find me on Instagram to buy diecast from me. All right, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Let's take a quick look at. I had this one out getting ready to do a video before the box showed up. Here's one of the Johnny Lightning castings that I really do enjoy. But by and large, I don't care for Johnny Lightning, especially the old muscle cars that they do. They're just not good. The problem is that Greenlight and Auto World have done almost all of them, and they've done them so much better. And you could probably even throw M2 in there. That I can't get over how bad the stances are. See, that's odd to me. You know, I don't doubt that that's true. It would make more sense to me, especially in the Pacific Northwest where you get all that rain. Having a stone house or a brick house, I would think would make more sense. But then again, you're also in a fault zone, and brick doesn't do too well with earthquakes. Yeah, thank you. I've thought about doing them before. I've thought about just doing like a weekly live stream just to talk about diecast, just to discuss the different things and the new stuff that's coming out. I know Greenlight has some killer stuff coming out. Auto World has the Chevy trucks; those are hitting this month. They should be hitting pegs this month. They're going to be scalped. That's going to be brutal. Yeah, Canada, I would think would be a lot more wood lumber style houses. That's how Colorado and Arizona are. Arizona is built with lumber, but then the outside of the houses are mostly stucco. I have learned to reserve judgment. I just saw the not impressed with the green light blazer. I've learned not to judge by the pictures because you just can never tell. I've seen pictures that where the casting looks awful, and then you get it and it looks awesome. And I've also seen that vice versa where the picture looks uh, really good, and then you get the car and it looks awful. So it's hard to judge it from the picture. Um, I noticed Greenlight is lifting the C10, so that's pretty awesome. I don't know if they're lifting the old casting or if it's gonna be the new um, casting that they've been using for the monster trucks. I don't know. I want to get the Chevy trucks from all three brands. You know, M2's doing them too. So I want to get all of them: Greenlight, M2, and Auto World. Not necessarily. They're out. They're here. I'm pretty sure they're here in the states. So I don't think that was that's how much were they asking for it? Just out of curiosity. And was it 1 to 64 scale? No? Someone just said that they 45. You're in Canada, huh? See, that's kind of interesting. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were up there. Um, Round 2 in their monthly video said that they are expected to land this month. So if somebody has one, I'm not surprised by that at all. And asking 45 for it, that's pretty steep, but honestly, if I saw one, I'd probably get it just to be the first to have it. And not just that, cuz I really don't care about that, but I know that I will not find that in the stores here. Yeah, that's true. AutoWorldStore.com. That's what I need to do is I need to just go buy a whole case. But I would probably buy it just because I know I'm going to have a tough time finding it. And there are times where I will pay a little bit more for convenience. That would make a heck of a video right now, having those castings. Because it's going to be probably a couple weeks before you start seeing people getting those, posting them. So as you guys can see, I'm pretty much done showing diecast. But if you guys have any questions or anything, I'll answer some questions and then we'll wrap it up. I've noticed that mostly with the car culture, Canada always seems to get everything before the US. It might have something to do with trade agreements. All that stuff ships from China. And I don't know if Round 2 or Mattel, if they have them shipped directly to the retailers or if they go to some kind of distributor in the US and then goes out to the retailers. I don't know how that works, but if they ship directly from the factory to the retailer, then it could have something to do with the trade tariffs. I have absolutely zero interest in NASCAR. You couldn't pay me to have NASCAR cars in my collection. It's not that I don't like them. I just they don't have any value. First of all, and I'm just not into it. I'm not into NASCAR. To me, they're all kind of the same. There's a place local to me called Cubbyhole Collectibles, and he has cabinets full of NASCAR diecast, and he can't give it away. I just don't have any interest in it. And as far as the tractor trailers go, they take up a lot of space, so I would never collect them, but I don't have anything against them. Like if Greenlight, I know Greenlight has one out. I would like to try to get an example of the casting. M2 has the auto haulers. I have a couple of those, but I try not to collect too much stuff that takes up too much space. Travis Wilson, what's going on? That's a good name you have. All right, everybody. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate you guys all for stopping by. It was interesting. Yeah, TLV, man. I'm telling you, if you guys don't collect TLV, you're missing out. I know they're expensive, but amazing diecast. It's amazing diecast. I love it. I love it. That'll be of everything that I have in my collection. That is the one thing that I have no doubt I will pass down to my kids. Thank you, Eric. Much appreciated. I think Yeah, I agree. I agree. They have great detail, um, great likeness to the actual cars, and great build quality. Those things are built so well. They're just solid cars. They all roll. Um, they're not perfect. They could do the wheels a little bit better, but amazing diecast. Those things are addicting. But thoughts on upcoming Greenlight? I'm pretty stoked. Actually, I don't care about the 70 Monte Carlo or the 69 Cougar. Wow, that's a lot. I could probably only fill 3 or maybe 4 shoe boxes with mine. Um, like I said, the 70 Monte Carlo, we've seen it. The 69 Cougar, we've seen it. I don't care. The K5 Blazer, we have never seen that in a premium detailed build, so I'm stoked about that. I'm stoked about the square body Chevy. I'm stoked about the B body Caprice. Um, I'm stoked about the Volkswagen Golf. I hope it stacks up nicely to the Schuko and the Kyosho. But there's tons of stuff that they're coming out with to be excited about, and that's that's like it's like a double edged sword with Greenlight because as we mentioned earlier on in the live stream, their quality seems to be going down, and I guess that's just the trade off for all the new licensing and all the new cars that they're bringing out. Is it sucks that it ended up that way, but they're the only company doing it. Auto World's not. They're not doing it. M2's not doing it. M2 will do, if Greenlight and Auto World do something, M2 will follow. But I will say M2 was first on the Auto Japan. At least I think they were. I think Greenlight came second. It might have been just announced first, though. M2 just always seems to lead from behind. It's crazy with M2 also because I started collecting real heavily in 2015, and M2, as far as the premium brands go, back then nobody wanted Auto World. You could get an Ultra Red on eBay for $10. Everybody was all about M2. That's what all the premium collectors wanted was M2. Greenlight, I would say, was second at that time. And if you look today, Auto World is probably the most sought after, most collected. Greenlight's way up there, but M2, nobody cares about M2 anymore. They're totally irrelevant. Their licensing sucks. That they get these licenses that either nobody knows it or nobody cares about it. I don't think it's so much the opening features. I think they could get past that. I think it's just. I think honestly, this is gonna sound harsh, but most of their cars are from a time where a lot of those collectors are getting old, dying off, and people that are my age don't have interest in cars from the 50s. You know? Um, and they're not exciting. They're not an exciting brand to collect. Their chase program sucks. You know? They'll 4,000 cars and 750 chase cars. That's like a 20% chase production rate. That's insane. That's not a chase. The build quality sucks. There's a lot of issues with them too. A lot. I could see them too just kind of fluttering off into the sunset. They're just I don't know. They could change it though. They could change it. It wasn't that long ago that they were the premier detailed diecast brand here in the US. But what happened was the other two brands, Auto World and Greenlight, started getting aggressive. They started catering to collectors, responding to collectors. They were listening to what people wanted and they were going out and making it happen. M2 has not done that outside of the Auto Japan and the Chevy Square Body. I agree, Kyle. I agree, and that's why we're going to start to see a lot more 70s and 80s and even into the 90s, and it's already started. And it needs to start because that's the next generation of collectors. That's what they're going to want. They're not going to want cars from the 50s and 60s. The 60s are done. They're done. We don't need any more cars from the 60s. Unless it's like a really cool car from that time that hasn't been done yet, I would be okay with that. But outside of that, I think between M2, Greenlight, Johnny Lightning, and Auto World, you can find pretty much any. You can find a nice example of pretty much any American muscle car. So M2, I don't think they've ever licensed a police, an actual police department. Every police car they've ever done has been generic. The only licensing they do is basically like automotive accessory stuff. They don't do anything exciting, you know. Greenlight, look how aggressive Greenlight is. They license everything. I mean, they literally license everything. I have a 240Z that I looked at the other day that had a Seiko badge on it. So Greenlight is killing it right now. But all right, that's 40. We're almost at 50 minutes. But thank you everybody for watching. I think I like the live stream. I don't know that I'm going to do showcases live stream though, but I think it would be good to do diecast discussions via live stream. I feel like my camera, I don't have all the functionality when I'm streaming. I can't focus as well. The lighting doesn't look as good. So I don't know. But I like the interaction. I think to talk about diecast, I think is a good idea. So yeah, Greenlight Hollywood diecast is awesome. I like it a lot. You don't know how many collectors have started collecting Greenlight just because of the Hollywood collection. There are also a ton of collectors that don't collect Greenlight, but they do collect Greenlight Hollywood. But that's the only Greenlight that they do collect. Greenlight, it's hard for me to imagine that there's not a collector somewhere that they don't cater to at some capacity. But, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good week. I will holler at you guys at the next video. And thank you for all the continued support. Diecastrum, thank you again for this box, man. It's unbelievable. I'm very grateful. And I'll talk to you guys all later on. Take care.